Hello everyone, myself Misha Shatabdidhar, and today in this video I am going to discuss with you about file allocation methods and directory structures. In this video we will discuss about allocation methods like contiguous, linked and indexed allocation methods. And in directory structure we will discuss about single level, two level and tree structure. Now, what is allocation method? The allocation methods define how the files are stored in the disk blocks. There are three main disk space or file allocation methods like contiguous allocation, linked allocation, and indexed allocation. The main idea behind these methods is to provide efficient disk space utilization and fast access to the file blocks. Now we will know what is contiguous allocation. Contiguous allocation is one of the most used methods for allocation. It means we allocate the block in such a manner so that in the hard disk all the blocks get the contiguous physical block. We can see in this figure that in the directory we have three files. In the table, we have mentioned the starting block and the length of all the files. We can see in the table that for each file, we allocate a contiguous block. Let us see an example. We can see in the given diagram that there is a file. The name of the file is mail. The file starts from the 19th block and the length of the file is 6. So, the file occupies 6 blocks in a contiguous manner. Thus, it will hold blocks like 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 and 24. This contiguous allocation have some advantages and disadvantages. The advantages of contiguous allocations are like contiguous allocation method gives excellent read performance. Contiguous allocation is easy to implement. This method supports both types of file access methods that are sequential access and direct access. This method is fast because in this method numbers of 6 is less due to the contiguous allocation of file blocks. Now what are the disadvantages of contiguous allocation method? In the contiguous allocation method, sometimes disk can be fragmented. In this method, it is difficult to increase the size of the file due to the availability of the contiguous memory block. The next one is linked list allocation. In this scheme, each file is a linked list of disk blocks which need not to be contiguous. The disk blocks can be scattered anywhere on the disk. The directory entry contains a pointer to the starting and the ending file block. Each block contains a pointer to the next block occupied by the file. Let us discuss an example of linked list allocation. We can see in the given figure that we have a file named zip. The value of the start is 9. So we have to start the allocation from the 9th block and blocks are allocated in a random manner. The value of the end is 25. It means the allocation is finished on the 25th block. We can see in the below figure that the block 25 comprised of -1, which means a null pointer and it will not point to another block. This linked list allocation also have some advantages and disadvantages. What are the advantages of linked list allocation? There are various advantages of linked list allocation. In linked list allocation, there is no external fragmentation. Due to this, we can utilize the memory in better type. In linked list allocation, a directory entry only comprises of the starting block address. The linked allocation method is flexible because we can quickly increase the size of the file, because in this, to allocate a file, we do not require a chunk of memory in a contiguous form. What are the disadvantages of linked list allocation? There are various disadvantages of linked list allocation. Linked list allocation does not support direct access or random access. In this type of allocation, we need to traverse each block. If the pointer in the linked list break in linked list allocation, then the file gets corrupted. In this disk block, for the pointer, it needs some extra space. And the last one is indexed allocation. This index allocation method is another method that is used for file allocation. In the index allocation method, we have an additional block, and that block is known as the index block. For each file, there is an individual index block. In the index block, the ith entry holds the disk address of the ith file block. We can see in this figure that the directory entry comprises of the address of the index block. Index allocation method also have some advantages and disadvantages. Now the advantages of index allocation method are: it solves the problem of external fragmentation. Index allocation provides direct access. Now what are the disadvantages of index allocation? In this allocation method, pointer overhead is very more. We can lose the entire file if an index block is not correct. It is totally a wastage of create an index for a small file. A single index block cannot hold all the pointer for files with large sizes. To resolve this problem, there are various mechanisms which can use linked scheme, multi-level index and combined scheme. The first one is linked scheme. In the linked scheme, to hold the pointer, two or more than two index blocks are linked together. Each block contains the address of the next index block or a pointer. The next one is multi-level index. In the multi-level index, to point the second level index block, we use a first level index block that in turn points to the blocks of the disk occupied by the file. We can extend this up to 3 or more than 3 levels depending on the maximum size of the file. And the last one is combined scheme. In a combined scheme, there is a special block which is called an information node or inode. The inode comprises of all the information related to the file like authority, name, size, etc. To store the disk block addresses that contain the actual file, the remaining space of inode is used. In inode, the starting pointer is used to point the direct blocks. This means the pointer comprises of the addresses of the disk blocks which consist of the file data. To indicate the direct blocks, the next few pointers are used. The indirect blocks are of three types, which are single indirect, double indirect and triple indirect. Now we will discuss about directory structure. And so, first we have to know what is a directory. A directory is the collection of the correlated files on the disk. In simple words, a directory is like a container which contains file and folder. In a directory, we can store the complete file attributes or some attributes of the file. A directory can be comprised of various files. With the help of the directory, we can maintain the information related to the files. To take the advantages of various file systems on the different operating systems, we can divide the hard disk into multiple partitions. There should be at least one directory that must be present in each partition. Through it, we can list all the files of the partition. In the directory for each file, there is a directory entry which is mentioned, and in that directory entry, all the information related to the file is stored here. There are various types of information which are stored in a directory, like name. Now what is name? Name is the file, name is the name of the directory which is visible to the user. The next one is type. Type of a directory means what type of directory is present, such as single label directory, two label directory, or three label directory, or acyclic graph directory. The next one is location. Location is the location of the device where the header of a file is located. Next one is size. Size means number of words, blocks, bytes in the file. Next, position. Position means the position of the next read pointer and the next write pointer. The next one is protection. Protection means access control or the read, write, delete, execute. The next one is uses. Uses means the time of creation, modification and access, etc. And the last one is mounting. Mounting means if the root of a file system is grafted into the existing tree of other file systems. Now, what are the operations done on this directory? The various types of operations on the directory are creating, deleting, searching, list a directory, renaming, link, unlink. Now what is creating? In this operation, a directory is created. The name of the directory should be unique here. Now what is deleting? If there is a file that we don't need, then we can delete that file from the directory. We can also remove the whole directory if the directory is not required. An empty directory can also be deleted. An empty directory is a directory that only consists of dot and dot dot. Then the next operation is searching. Searching operation means for a specific file or another directory, we can search a directory. List a directory. In this operation, we can retrieve all the files list in the directory. And we can also retrieve the content of a directory entry or every file present in the list. If in the directory we want to read the list of all files, then first it should be opened and afterwards we read the directory. It is a must to close the directory so that the internal table space can be free up. There are various types of directory structure like single label directory, two-level directory, tree-structured directory, acyclic graph directory, and general graph directory. Now we will know about the single-level directory. Single-level directory is the easiest directory structure. There is only one directory in a single-level directory, and that directory is called a root directory. In a single level directory, all the files are present in one directory that makes it easy to understand. In this, under the root directory, the user cannot create the subdirectories. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of single level directory? The advantages are the implementation of a single level directory is so easy. In a single level directory, if all the files have a small size, then due to this, the searching of the files will be easy. Here, the operations such as searching, creation, deletion, and updating can be performed easily. Now, what are the disadvantages of single level directory? If the size of the directory is large in single level directory, then the searching will be tough. Here we cannot group the similar type of files. There is a possibility of collision because the two files cannot have the same name. The task of choosing the unique file name is a little bit complex. The next one is two-level directory. Two-level directory is another type of directory structure where it is possible to create an individual directory for each of the users. There is one master node in the two-level directory that include an individual directory for every user. At the second level of the directory, there is a different directory present for each of the users. Without permission, no user can enter into the other user's directory. In two-level directory, there may be some file name of different users. There is a path name of each file such as /username, /directory name, /. In a two-level directory, we cannot group the files which are having the same name into a single directory for a specific user. Here, searching is more effective because there is only one user's list which is required to be traversed. This two-level directory also have some advantages and disadvantages. What are the advantages? In the two-level directory, various users have the same file name and also directory name. Because of using the user grouping and path name, searching of files are quite easy here. Now what are the disadvantages? In a two-level directory, one user cannot share the file with another user. Another disadvantage with the two-level directory is it is not scalable. The next one is tree structured directory. In a tree structured directory, there is an own directory of each user, and any user is not allowed to enter into the directory of another user. Although the user can read the data of the root, the user cannot modify or write in it. The system administrator only has full access to the root directory. In this method, searching is quite effective and we use the current working concept. We can access the file by using two kinds of paths, either absolute or relative. Tree structured directory also have some advantages and disadvantages. Now, what are the advantages of tree-structured directory? This type of directory is very scalable. In the tree structures directory, the chances of collision are less. In the tree structure directory, the searching is quite easy because in this we can use both types of paths, which are the absolute path and relative path. Now, what are the disadvantages of tree structure directory? In the tree structure directory, the files cannot be shared. Here, it is not efficient because in this, if we want to access a file, then it may go under multiple directories. Another disadvantage of tree structured directory is that each file does not fit into the hierarchical model. We have to save the files into various directories. The next one is acyclic graph directory. In the acyclic graph directory, more than one directory can point to a similar file or subdirectory. We can share those files among the two directory entries. With the help of aliases and links, we can create this type of directory graph. We may also have a different path for the same file. Links may be of two kinds, which are hard link or physical and symbolic or logical. If we delete the files in a cyclic graph structure, then in the hard link or the physical link, we can remove the actual files only if all the references to the files are deleted. And in the symbolic link or the logical link, we just delete the file and there is only a dangling point that is left. This acyclic graph directory also has some advantages and disadvantages. In the acyclic graph directory, the sharing of files is possible. Because of different paths, searching is also easy, which are the advantages of acyclic graph directory. Now, what are the disadvantages of acyclic graph directory? If the files are shared through linking, there may be a problem in the case of deleting. If we are using soft link, then in this case, if the file is deleted, then there is only a dangling pointer which is left. If we are using hard link, in this case, when we delete a file, then we also have to remove all the reference connected with it. General graph directory is the last one. The general graph directory is another vital type of directory structure where within a directory we can create cycle of directory where we can derive the various directory with the help of more than one parent directory. The main issue in the general graph directory is to calculate the total space or size taken by the directories and the files. The advantages of general graph directory are it's more flexible than the other directory structure. Cycles are allowed in this general graph directory. And what are the disadvantages? In graph directory or general graph directory, garbage collection is required. It's more costly among other directory structures. Now we will know about the protection in file system. In computer systems, a lot of users' information is stored. The objective of the operating system is to keep safe the data of the user from the improper access to the system. Protection can be provided in number of ways. For a single laptop system, we might provide protection by locking the computer in a disk drawer, or file cabinet. For multi-user system, different mechanisms are used for the protection. Now, what are the types of access? The files which have direct access of the any user have the need of protection. The files which are not accessible to other user does not require any kind of protection. The mechanism of the protection provide the facility of the controlled access by just limiting the types of access to the file. Access can be given or not given to any user depends on several factors, one of which is the type of access required. Several different types of operations can be controlled, like reading from a file, writing or redirecting the file, loading the file, and after loading, the execution process starts. Writing the new information to the already existing file. Editing must be end at the end of the existing file. Deleting the file which is of no use and using its space for the another data. List the name and attributes of the file. Operations like renaming, editing the existing file, copying, these can also be controlled. There are many protection mechanisms. Each of them mechanism have different advantages and disadvantages and must be appropriate for the intended application. Now, what is access control? There are different methods used by different users to access any file. The general way of protection is to associate identity dependent access with all the files and directories and list called access control list, that is ACL, which specify the names of the users and the types of access associated with each of the user. The main problem with the access list is their length. If we want to allow everyone to read a file, we must list all the users with the read access. This technique has two undesirable consequences. Constructing such a list may be tedious and unrewarding task, especially if we do not know in advance the list of the users in the system. Hope through this video you can understand the different file allocation methods and directory structure. For more update, don't forget to subscribe my channel.